and welcome to Genesis Educational Research Hub live chat on research project writing. So good evening from every part of the world. Thank you for staying tuned or coming on to this channel at this point in time, wherever it is, all over the world, probably in the evening in your country, or in the afternoon in your country, or in the morning in your country. Welcome from every part of the world, converged on this channel to discuss the subject matter in the thumbnail. I remain Dr. John Effiong Hussein, your research consultant. On this matter, we shall be discussing research project writing as usual, but shall be talking about what the meaning is of a research project. Okay, now I looked at this particular topic, thought about it carefully, and decided to talk about it on this channel. Why am I talking about it? I know a lot of us out there have been writing research projects or about to write research projects, but do not seem to understand or have a firm grasp of what a research project is. So on this channel right now, we want to discuss what the meaning of a research project is. Okay, that is the focus of this video, to discuss what the meaning of a research project is. Now, just in case you don't know what a research project is, then you have to really stay tuned to this channel on this particular live chat to discuss with us the subject matter. Now, I remain Dr. John Effiong Hussein, welcoming you from Nigeria to this part of the world and on this channel. So please stay tuned and listen to all we have to say on this matter. Please turn in your comments. It is very important. If you have questions, you can ask us a question on this channel. If you have anything to say or any comment to make about what we are discussing, you can do that right now by putting your comments in the comment section below. Now, please, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, endeavor to subscribe right now. Click the subscription button below and make sure you turn on your notification button, your notification bell. Click that notification bell and make it turn on. Okay, thank you very much for viewing our videos. Thank you for your likes to our videos. Thank you for your comments to our videos. Please don't forget to smash a like on this video if you love the content of our channel. Smash a like on this video if you love the topic and you'll be discussing with us on this matter. Okay, so thank you very much for staying tuned to the channel throughout the past days we've been discussing. Thank you very much. Now, that being said, let us get into the topic proper. Let's start with answering the question, what is a research project? Okay, now what is a research project? I'm going to start, before answering that question, I'm going to throw light on this particular matter. Now, it is generally called a research project, and from level to level in academics, what is called a research project starts having different names but meaning the same thing. So a research project could be a thesis, it could be a dissertation, it could be just what we call a research project. Now, at undergraduate level, to end your undergraduate program, it is usually called a research project. What is expected of you after carrying out your research will be called a research project. Okay, at a master's level or a postgraduate level, a postgraduate diploma level, it may be called still a research project or a thesis, an MSc thesis. Okay, now it may be called at PhD level a dissertation or also a thesis. Now, whichever name it bears, take note, it remains a research project. Now, I hope you got that point very clear. So a research project may be different in name at any level of academics. So it is popularly known as a research project at undergraduate level. To end your undergraduate program, you would end up writing what is called a research project. Okay, so that does not mean it is different in its meaning. It only bears different names for different levels of academics. So when you are writing an undergraduate, when you're ending your undergraduate program, what will be expected of you to write is a research project. Now, when you are ending your postgraduate diploma program, it may also be called a research project, what you are expected to write. At a master's level, it may be called, the same research project may be called a thesis, or it may be called a dissertation. at a master's level or a PhD level. So please forget about the name. It may be called per level, but focus on what it means. Regardless of being called thesis or dissertation, it remains a research project, whatever it is. Now, that being said, let us now define or give it a meaning. Remember, the thumbnail says talks about the meaning of a research project. So let us give a research project its meaning. For those who do not understand, or those who are embarking on a research project, please know what it means. That is the essence of this video. So, what is a research project? A research project is a documentation. It is a documentation carrying or conveying a summary, so to say, of a research carried out by a candidate. Okay? So, a research project, again, is a documentation of the findings of a research carried out by a candidate. Now, bear it in mind that this candidate may be an individual, or the candidate may be a group of individuals, or the candidate may be an organization. So it means that individuals can write a research project, organizations can write a research project, a group of individuals can write a research project. Now, whether it is an individual that writes a research project, a group that writes a research project, or an organization that puts forward a research project, take note, all they are trying to do is to put forward to the would-be reader or the public what the findings of what is called a research they carried out is. Okay? So, research project is a documentation of the findings of a research that is carried out, or that was carried out by an individual who could be a candidate, a group referred to as a candidate, or an organization referred to as a candidate. So I hope you understand what a research project is now. So please take note, that is what it means when we say a research project. Now that we have clarified what a research project is, let us go to the next question in this live chat. Please, if you are watching me live, endeavor to turn in your comments. I would really love to see the first comment that will be made on these live chat sessions we've been having on GER Hub. So far, so good. We've not been getting comments consistently from people watching us live or people watching our videos. I'll really appreciate you start turning in your comments. Ask me any question you want to ask about research project writing in our live chat sessions. Please, I'll really appreciate it if you turn in your comments in terms of questions, or making just suggestions, or making comments about the subject matter being discussed. Okay, so this evening we are talking about a research project, and I'm saying that a research project could be a thesis, it could be a dissertation, it could be a postgraduate diploma project, or it could be an undergraduate research project. Whether it is an undergraduate research project, whether it is a postgraduate diploma project, whether it is a thesis, whether it is a dissertation, all of them speaks one meaning: research project. Okay, so a thesis is a research project written by a master's a degree candidate or a PhD degree candidate. Okay, so a research project is what an undergraduate student writes, or a research project is what a postgraduate diploma student would write at the end of his or her program. Okay, now we clarified the air on that matter. The next thing we have said so far is about what a research project means, and I'm saying that a research project, simply put, is a documentation of the findings of a research carried out by a candidate. And by candidate, we are actually referring to an individual, we are referring to a group of individuals, or we are referring to an organization. Okay, so that means that organizations could carry out research and document their findings. That means that a group of individuals can carry out a research and document their findings, and it also means that an individual can carry out a research. So research can be carried out by a group, by an individual, or an organization. Okay, so that's what we have said so far. Now The next thing I want to talk about, remember this video is just a brief video trying to explain to you having problem or challenges with understanding what a research project is, what it is. Okay, now let us talk about another thing bordering on the subject matter. What is a research project? Now, typically, I have said this in earlier videos I made on research project writing, and I want you to refer to those videos on research project writing that we have discussed previously. So I want to tell you, typically, you may ask, what makes up a research project? Okay, now that we have talked about the research project as a documentation of the findings of a research. Now take note, we have talked about a research as being a systematic study or a systematic investigation or inquiry about a subject matter leading to knowledge and or leading to new knowledge or leading to modified knowledge. Now please take note, a research project is one that is not just any documentation. It is a documentation that is technical in nature. So if you are putting up a research project, you must have it in mind that a research project must be documented technically. It is a technical write-up. Okay, so you don't just put things into a research project even as it is a documentation of the summary of your research findings. You don't just document your research findings in any manner. It must follow a structure. For that reason, a research documentation is technical in nature. Now, the way and manner a research project is structured is based on chapters. So a research project usually comprises several chapters. And if you go back to my video on a typical research project, you would notice that I talked about 5 major chapters. Now, some research projects are documented in 6 chapters, some in 7 chapters, as the case may be. Now, there is flexibility when it comes to the structure or the technical setup of a research project. Take note, there is flexibility. So whether it is in 5 chapters, whether it is in 6 chapters, whether it is in 7 chapters, as the case may be, from different parts of the world or in different parts of the world, take note, the technical setup remains the same. A research project must have a chapter that is dedicated to what is called the introduction. So any research project must have an introductory chapter. Usually in a 5-chapter project, it is called, this particular chapter I'm calling the introduction, is usually the first chapter of a research project. Okay, so in what is called a second chapter in a 5-chapter project, there is something called a literature review. So you could go through my videos on literature review to understand what a literature review is. Okay, now there is also something called thank you very much. I have seen my very first comment coming in. I am very grateful to you. Praise Olori. I am very grateful. You can ask me a question. Thank you for joining in and thank you for your comment. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. It shows that I'm talking to someone out there. I know I'm talking to people. Please, thank you very much. I'm very grateful. Now, a research project, like I was saying, is structured typically in 5 chapters. So it must be a technical setup or a technical write-up. It mustn't just be any kind of documentation. It must be technically written. Okay, and by technically written, it means that it must be structured in a number of chapters. And I'm saying that typically a research project is structured to contain 5 chapters. This is not to say that you cannot have it in more than 5 chapters. It varies based on the demand of your supervisor. It varies based on the demand of the institution you find yourself. So please quote me correctly, a research project can have more than 5 chapters. But typically, it usually contains 5 chapters. Now, for a 5-chapter project, a research project, it is structured in such a manner that you would have a first chapter called the introductory chapter. That's a message to your would-be reader about that. Now, please, to understand anything about the introduction or the introductory chapter, please go through our previous videos on the background of the study, statement of problem and the likes. We have discussed such. So go to my channel, subscribe, and check out those videos. Now, there is another chapter called the literature review. Okay, and that chapter is usually a second chapter in a 5-chapter project. There is also a 3rd chapter that is called a research methodology, a chapter that is dedicated to the research methodology. It is usually the 3rd chapter in a 5-chapter project. There is then what is called a chapter 4 that usually is a data analysis chapter, or a data discussion chapter, or a data interpretation chapter. Okay, so that chapter is usually a chapter 4 in a typical 5-chapter project. Okay, then comes, in a typical 5-chapter project, what is called the chapter 5, the summary, conclusion, and recommendations. Okay, so these are usually the 5 chapters that make up a 5-chapter research project. Now, what am I trying to say to you? Now that we have answered the question, what is a research project? Take note, a research project is a 5-chapter project. It is a 5-chapter project. Thank you very much. Praise, I am very grateful for you to have joined in this live chat. I hope you are watching the live chat, and I hope you are listening to what is being said. I know you are. Thank you very much. I'm very, very grateful for dropping your comments, for your comments you've dropped in the live chat. Thank you very much. Now, so we are discussing research project writing, research project, what a research project means. And I started this video with saying that a research project is a documentation of the research findings by a candidate. And this by candidate we mean a group of individuals, an individual, or an organization. And I'm saying that, number 2, research project is a technical write-up. And by technical write-up means I'm actually referring to a setup containing a number of chapters, a specified number of chapters. And I'm saying that in a typical research project, there are 5 chapters. And this is not to say that there is no room for flexibility. There is room for flexibility. You can have more than 5 chapters based on the demand of your supervisor, or based on the demand of the institution or department you may be writing your research project in. Okay, another thing I have said in this live chat is that in research project writing, take note, research projects may vary in name but means the same thing. So from level to level in academics, probably an undergraduate level to a postgraduate diploma level to a master's level, an MPhil level, or a PhD level, the name may vary. It may be called a thesis, it may be called a dissertation, it may be called a PhD project, but it remains the same in meaning. It is a research project. So whether it is called a thesis, it is a research project. Whether it is called a PhD dissertation, it is a research project. Whether it is called a research project, it remains a research. Now, that being said, please go over this video again to understand what a research project is. If you don't understand what a research project is, it is very good you know the meaning of a research project, and that is why we have discussed this in this live chat. Thank you very much for staying tuned to the live chat. If you will be watching this video later, thank you very much. Please try to grab the meaning of a research project from our video, and we'll be seeing you in the next video. Okay, please endeavor to join us every 8 p.m. on our channel, where we discuss research project writing topics. Okay, so stay tuned if you have subscribed, please stay tuned to the thumbnail you shall be seeing. All you have to do to join the live chat is to click on the thumbnail. Once you see the thumbnail specifying that a video is upcoming, click on that thumbnail and you're automatically in. Join the live chat, drop your comments. Your comments are very necessary. They promote the channel, they support the channel. Please endeavor to subscribe to the channel. Subscribe the channel, support this channel to grow by subscribing to the channel, to ensure that we are encouraged to make more contents for you on different topics in research project writing, in mathematics, and in statistics topics. Thank you very much for staying tuned to this live chat. Thank you very much, and God bless you. I'll be seeing you tomorrow in the next video we shall be making. Who knows what we shall be talking about tomorrow? Please join us tomorrow to find out. Thank you very much.